Hello, hello, hello. What's good, everybody? It is Tuesday night, so you already know it. It's time to get into another one in the new series we are rocking on these days, our Only Murders in the Building. And one of our fellow crew was had to jump off real quick for an emergency, so we hope everything's okay with her. But Phantom and I are going to soldier on tonight. Are you ready to get into this one, The Realist Detective?
The real reason why AK could not make it because she wanted to go watch the musical Splash.
Oh, I'm telling you. She got them hot tickets.
Yep.
Oh, man. I hope she's not in the first row because she might get more of a splat. Oh my God, that's amazing. That is amazing. Yeah, that's exactly how this one started out. Only Murders in the Building, Season 1, Episode 3, How Well Do You Know Your Neighbors? And we open in a flashback of Oliver in his heyday, and all I got from this scene was it is no accident that he is not an employed director anymore. It sounded like that show was a flop from the jump, but I still want to see it.
So did I. So did I. Maybe because it's charisma alone, I wanted to see it. You can read it from everyone in the room. They're like, should we really put our monies into this? But the way how he talks, it's like, you know what? Maybe there's something here that we're not seeing that this guy is seeing. Even talking about how he got his wife.
Oh, he went in deep. But yeah, he had that silver tongue flowing. But it was like the money guys on the side were looking at the old boy like, you're not seriously considering this. And just Teddy was just hook, line, and sinker, just in love with it. Couldn't say no to Oliver and made it happen. And sounds like that's not the only flop. It was sound like it was even worse decisions. All the businesses he told him, or all the plays that he told him not to invest in.
I know, right? You said Hamlin and others. I'm like, what?
Hey, Miss Rob. Oh yeah, all the big ones. She was like, no, you didn't. Talked him out of all the money makers and then had him sink all his money into his shit show. Like, yeah, there's no accident you're not employed right now, but he's living that life. He is still getting it done. That was so sweet when Charles was actually playing that instrument while narrating the podcast. Like Oliver said, it made him feel like he was back in the potato famine. But I'm with Charles. I was digging it.
Oh my gosh, you enjoyed it?
I thought he was killing it on that little thing. Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Oh,
just like freaking
you're
Martin
like,
Short's character. I'm like, okay, let's throw that shit out the window.
you weren't having it at all.
Nope.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's a side note that like it's wild. Like all the offshoot instruments Steve Martin can actually play in real life. Like my man could get down on a kazoo and a banjo.
I think what was he saying? He felt like he was in like a Hobbit movie or something, was it?
He said, "Are you playing a wedding for a hobbit?" Oh man, I was like, I thought it sounded good over his little narration he was breaking down for the podcast. I thought it worked. I was with him. Oh, it was funny how they went to like how they knew that to text rather than to call Mabel, like Oliver is all for some reason it calls really bother them. Just like playing into that age gap that they have perfectly.
Yeah.
Loving that. And then when he said that he landed on the perfect heading for said text, but still ends it by signing off with his signature like a letter, like it literally reminds me of when my mom first started texting.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh, I see how my mom texts now. She just like one first I had to like enlarge the text for her on the damn phone, and then she just types so slowly. Then if she sees me texting so fast, she's like, "How are you texting so fast?"
oh man. And then the fact, like when they very first started, they'd sign it like a note, love your mom, or
hmm
says, it's just like, no, you don't have, we know it's from you. You don't have to sign that.
With her now, it's gifs. So it's like now it's like it ends with a gif now.
Oh, every time. That's amazing. That's like, yeah, the new thing, the new Fandango thing to them. The older generation, you gotta love them. How great was that chorus line, like of the could be murderers that Oliver had lined up? Like they're all trying to be suspects, and he's
I
just
know.
the line. I ain't trying to deal with you. Oh man, that was amazing. What did we think of who he landed on as a suspect? Was it too obvious to be the cat dude?
Yeah, because they ended off the previous episode with about the cat dude. So I thought it was just either gonna be him or maybe another potential person, but end up being, the cat dude.
Yeah, there's no way. Oliver was quick to send Charles and Mabel off to do the interview. Like Charles is like, wait, you want us to go ask a suspected murderer to confess to said murder? Like, isn't that a little dangerous? He's like, oh, just make sure you get it all recorded. Like the ridiculousness of all of is what just makes this show so great. Like it's amazing.
And just make sure that you in some shape or fashion, let them know that we're recording you. That's like in every episode I'm seeing now. It's like it's a mix in some way, they're like making sure they put that in, saying,
Oh,
"Oh, like record." It's not like we're recording you. And then like what?
oh, it's amazing.
I think that's like a state law in New York where it's like if you're recording someone, you have to like let them know that you're recording them.
Why, if they're
So
gonna get their face, or you have to blur it out. That
yeah,
makes sense.
as opposed to I think in other states you don't have to say it. So I think that's keeping in line with it.
Part of New York, I love it. Oh, the details. And speaking of ridiculous, the gall of Oliver asking Teddy for money after all the bad investments and advice he's given. Like, just what kind of fantasy world is this guy living in? I mean, come on, man. He
If
is
I was
just,
Teddy, I wouldn't even answer the door at this point.
I'm telling you, my man is quick to ask for a handout. So Charles and Mabel head out to do the interview, and while in the elevator, they meet another resident. And Mabel was quick to point out the little spark that was all aflutter between them. You noticed that too right away?
It was so damn obvious Charles getting his game on. I'm like, oh, look at you, sir.
Oh, we're calling that game now.
Suddenly someone likes this man in this damn building. Actually, not in this damn building in general, actually.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
And
like
it's weird how they're now noticing each other, but then he said it himself, like he's very antisocial. So
yeah,
made sense.
he has a problem getting along. How long are you staying in someone's apartment once you spy a dead cat in their freezer?
How long? I'm a cat person, but that's where I draw the line. Because at this point, I'm like, why you have the dead cat in your damn freezer?
Gotta go. I was like, hey, it's been fun. Gotta go. I'm out. I'm not staying in this house. Not for 1
Even
second.
if it was like rent free, not paying any bills or anything, I still wouldn't stay because I could be next in that freezer.
Oh my god,
He
yeah.
didn't even explain like why he kept it in the freezer.
No, he did. He said he thought old boy poisoned it, so he's gonna get an autopsy done.
Oh, he did. Oh, missed that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. When he came back through, he's like, I think he poisoned them. I'm gonna get an autopsy. So yeah, no, he's crazy. But yeah, like I said, I wouldn't have stayed along to hear that explanation. I'd have been out. Dead cats.
Then he had a photo of that other cat, and he said that cat's a bitch, but didn't explain why he had the photo of the
Right.
cat.
Yeah, Psycho. Exactly. And speaking of Psycho, why did Charles put that broken off frozen cat leg in his pocket?
Hide the evidence.
I mean, really? Out of all the places, that's where you're gonna put it? Like, oh my god. And then later he's like, "Oh, and that smells new, and it's soft now." I was like, "So wrong. That is so wrong." So they find out the suspect has vaginal syncope, and which causes him to faint at the slightest sight of blood. So it's tough for him to be the murderer with that disease. So back to the drawing board. And
Yeah,
my
unfortunately.
yeah, that didn't last long. And when Oliver was telling the story of opening night and the mermen all hitting the floor while giving the sound effects, dude, I was
It's like
dying.
flump, flump. I was like, yo, my gosh. I didn't expect it to happen that way. I thought it was like, oh, they did the performance. It was just terrible. But just how he described it, and you hear like the audience and the sound in the background to each of it happening. And then here, I'm assuming maybe it was just like one by one, but no, they all jumped at the same time.
Oh,
And
he said one by one. He said he said they went one by one. He said those choir boys stick together. He's like, they all went down. He's like, every one of them, them choir boys stick together. I was like, oh my God, dude. Yeah, after the first 5 flop on the floor, I'm not jumping. I'm sorry, but we ain't down like that. I'm saying
even then, though, like I'm guessing they really didn't do like a rehearsal of it.
obviously, yeah. Oh my god. Well, I think they did. He said for some reason they'd been having problems with the hydraulics on the stage door. So when they do I'm sure in rehearsal they dove in and the water was there, but they were having problems that night with the door and Oliver was like, screw it, just go for it. And then the
I would have
door
been like, no.
exactly. He said, screw it, go for it, and they all went for it and just splat. Oh my god, that was amazing. And then Oliver runs into Sting in the elevator, and we find out that he is not a fan of dogs, even though he has one, which is kind of weird. And are they
Mhm.
going to turn this into like a famous rock star has a secret life as a murderer type thing?
That's what I thought so at first. I'm like, well, it's interesting. Even the whole dog thing. I'm like, I mean, it could be like, okay, I have a dog, but I kind of like grew to hate it, or it's just the extra stuff I have to do
What
now
kind
because of the dog. I don't know.
what kind of person hates little dogs? Come on. I mean, come on. I mean,
I don't even think we got to see it though, too, did we?
what, the dog?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, remember because he kept
It
going.
wasn't little then. Like, I don't remember no little dog.
Yeah, he was a little. He was his little. Oh, what kind is it? Like not a bulldog, but kind of. Yeah, I think it is a bulldog actually. And yeah, he's just a little guy. Remember, Sting was telling him to mind his dog, because he kept sniffing his feet or whatever. It's like, what was he sniffing? Is he sniffing the blood on your ankles? He was
Could
like,
be.
ooh, what's that all about? Or since Oliver said no one wants to hear about a real estate murder, you think it might be that next door neighbor that really did just kill Tim Kono for his apartment? She seemed to have a real hate for the man.
True. But just to kill a man for a freaking room, man, like, come on, how petty is that?
But just the fact that he said nobody wants to hear about a real estate murder, I mean, that would just be the perfect thing. Try to throw you off the scent, and then boom, it actually is for the real estate murder. That's just how ruthless it is in New York to get that good spot.
But again, that's some pettiness.
Well, the ultimate petty. Are you kidding me? Oh man, it's amazing. And poor Charles trying to get anyone to like praise his little concertina playing abilities, but even you just not having it. Like when he asked Mabel if she liked it, and she's like, "Is that what my face is saying?" I was dying. Oh my god. Oliver tells them how they now have a sponsor, and Mabel finds that they already have like 4 listeners, and Charles is worried because they don't even have a lead yet. And speaking of, if you had to guess, do you think we've met the killer yet?
Do I have that in my notes? I don't think we have yet.
We're still yet to meet him in this one. And Oliver heads back to his place to find a note on the door telling him to stop the podcast, basically, before it's even started. And to show that they're not playing around, they poisoned his dog. And I'm like, man, whoever the killer is really is not a fan of pets. And then we know that Sting doesn't like dogs. And then as they pan in on him singing a line from one of his classics, I was like, they are not going to make this into a Second Life killer.
I was like, dang, Sting really did it? He really poisoned his damn dog?
Oh, brutal, man. You can't kill the pets. Like, come on, man. Keep it to the people, but don't kill the animals. Too much, too much. Oh, what do we think of this episode?
Love it. It seems like every episode thus far gets better and better.
Oh, they just dial it
And
in.
funnier and funnier.
Dude, the way they all interact with each other, like that chemistry is just spot on. It's absolutely fantastic. Oh, we're going to get into it. Just a couple trivia questions. If you know these ones, put them in the chat box. If you're watching later, put them in the comments down below. We're going to give you an easy one that you've already answered. What was the name?
Almost forgot. Like when Charles was doing like getting the photos of the suspects, he was doing it in selfies. I'm like, dude.
Selfie mode. The old ass man trying to do selfie mode, which would explain why they're so bad. But yeah, that was classic. Actually, kind of good thinking, but that was classic. Some way to not have to tell people that you're being filmed. Oh man.
What's the first trivia question?
What was the name of the Broadway play Oliver was directing?
Splash.
What's the name of Teddy's business?
Dang, did I write that one down?
That was one they slipped in there real quick. It's the sponsor of their new podcast.
Nah, I don't got that one.
Boom, bada bing. You're watching later. Put them in the comments section down below. How much did the Oliver sponsorship say? How much did Oliver say the sponsorship would cost?
$32K.
32K.
I think he bumped it up to 32,500 or something near the end.
35K.
Oh, 35? Yeah, he's taking that.
Always more with me. Hell yeah, my man's getting paid. Like I said, he is quick to make that money. He's about that life. How many mermen did Oliver say crashed to the floor?
Was it 5?
No, sir.
Was it 15?
It was not. It was somewhere in between there, I'll tell you.
10.
Incorrect.
8.
If you know that one, put it in the comment section down below. How many mermen did Oliver say went thwop on the floor? Oh, what was the headline the day after Oliver's opening night?
Did I write that down? Oh, was it Splash, the musical disaster?
No. Oh, man, that's why you didn't get my joke earlier. I figured you weren't going to get that. Right when you said that earlier, I made a joke about it. And yeah, you didn't react to it. I was like, oh, he didn't hear that part. What was the headline the day after Oliver's opening night? Know that one? Put it in the comment section down below. Wow, how did I get so many questions? 3 more. How old was Oliver when he pitched the pool in his show to Teddy?
He was 32?
What's that?
Was he 32 or 30?
Neither.
Dang, I thought he was in his 30s. He could be in his 30s, possibly. I'm gonna say 35. Final answer.
That is incorrect. You know that one right in the comments down below. What was the name of the instrument that Charles played throughout the episode?
I knew that was gonna come back to haunt me.
Yeah, I said it real fast too, so you might not have picked it up when I said it earlier. I actually said it earlier. Oh, anybody know that little accordion thing that he was playing? What was the name of that instrument?
I know the other instrument, but I don't know this instrument.
And how many theatrical productions has Oliver directed?
I wrote so many notes and not barely anything helped me.
We got him guessing. That's fantastic. They don't have me dialed yet, folks. Oh, nice. Absolutely. Well, bada boom, bada bing. That's going to do it for episode 3. We're going to keep it moving right on into episode 4. Only Murders in the Building, season 1, episode 4. And this one's just called The Sting. And this one opens with Oliver all in a panic over his dog being poisoned. And that text he sent Charles was everything. Like, the killer came from my family.
I know, right? So everyone's gonna read that and they're gonna like, oh shoot, like did he actually mean like his son or I believe his ex-wife now, right? I'm not sure. Yeah, it has to be his ex-wife. We haven't like seen her in the place.
Right.
And in reality, it was his dog, which again, I'm not saying dogs aren't, part of someone's family, but again, like you said, the way you described it.
The killer came from my family, and then it had to sign off on it. Love, Oliver. So perfect, dude. Oh my god, these guys. And just love, like I just love when older folks sign text like letters. It just kills me for some reason. But I don't know what was better. Oliver trying to play off that naming Sting as the murderer gives him no pleasure, or that Mabel thought that Sting was from U2. Like,
when you look at YouTube and look at Sting, they kind of do look similar.
Well, that's the perfect thing is just the age difference. Like, I mean, anybody from a certain age up is going to know that Sting is from the Police. But anybody from an age down would probably guess U2 or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Just playing that age gender gap a lot, dude. It's killing me. I love it. And now that they have a real lead, they're looking for help from someone who has a lot more experience in this line of work. And they got a meeting with the Queen of Murder podcast herself, Cinda Canning. It's just fantastic that she made a cameo on the show.
From Saturday Night Live, right? I think that's like the first time I've ever seen her in.
Yeah, Tina Fey, absolutely. Then I think I never watched it, but she's in that show 30 Rock, and yeah, she's one of the writers for SNL for a long, long time.
Yep, the OG era, not this crap they currently have.
Right, back in the day when it was still good. And on the way to the meeting, we get another run in with a sexy bassoonist. And from the last encounter, I'm feeling like Charles will be breaking out that blue pill sooner than later.
I forgot what movie it was where he had the freaking blue pill, was it? Oh my gosh.
It's funny just how awestruck they are being in like Cinda's office once they got there. They're just like totally fanboying out, like once they actually meeting her. Like she's just a podcaster, but like to them, she's everything. That's awesome. Oliver, who has no chill whatsoever, trying to give clues about the person they just said they were going to keep totally confidential, and then finally just blurts out the name. Like, this is not a man you're trying to do a crime with.
Yeah, because they mainly did because, again, they were just fanning out. Then, like, by all means, just blur it out.
But once they start bragging about stuff like that, the first thing I thought of was like, this woman is going to steal their idea.
Of course. And near the end of the episode, I'm like, aha. Not surprised.
First thing, because they're like, keep it, keep all this confidential, and he just can't keep a word to himself, and he blurts it all out. I was like, she is about to steal your shtick. Watch this. And what is the deal with like the Porky Pig and Bugs Bunny that Charles keeps talking to when alone? But then when I
saw that, I was like, is this man like losing his mind or something? Like, why we keep seeing this? Or that's just something with his social anxiety with them dating. Maybe that is what appears.
Man, I was getting some total The Boys vibes out of that. Like some Black
Noir. That too. I
was getting some Black Noir vibes off of that hard. How cute was that when Charles and Jan were like talking to each other through songs?
Oh, that was beautiful.
Dude,
So beautiful.
I was like, my man is about to fall in
But
love.
she freaking went up those flight of stairs real quick because literally when it ended, which the note came out of nowhere, I'm like, did I just like fall asleep or something? Like, what the hell just happened here?
Is this woman a vampire? Like, how fast is she? Exactly. She got
Unless he
superpowers.
wasn't like, paying attention when he was playing like his song, and then the next thing you know, boom, she was at that apartment. But that was like way too fast.
Yeah, I would have to because she came from the other side of the courtyard. Would have had to come up an elevator. Like, I mean, yeah, that would have taken some time, but she was there instantly. I was like, wait. But that's probably just to keep us guessing. Like, who is that at his door? Oh, the dinner, of course, is a complete catastrophe once she comes up and asks him for that date. And Jan was more than willing to share, but Charles had a complete meltdown when it was his turn. So not so easy jumping back into the dating scene, I guess.
Nah, not easy at all. Then a moment before that, she commented about gestures. So the moment when he was about to go open up himself, he was just like all over the place.
That was fantastic. Yeah. He was just, yeah, he could not get comfortable. Like, just a complete and utter meltdown. Oh, poor Charles. And then after the dating debacle, Charles is ready to just go all in on this new murder podcast hobby. He's like, Oliver decides to steal Cinda's turkey idea and gain an audience with Sting so they can ask him if he's the murderer. And it's all just so splendidly ridiculous, like just stupid. And like, what's going to happen when they run into the real murderer and they're trying to get him to confess? They're going to get murked.
Most likely, yes.
They come in all along. Hey, so by chance, are you the murderer? Like, they're going to get got. Oh, these guys are too much.
Or unless it actually did happen, as we saw in the very first episode, in the first scene with Selena Gomez, and then she defends herself and kills the murderer. Because remember how she always like has like that like dream
Oh,
of
yep.
where she's like
Yep.
always defending herself and she fights back. So imagine she does it, encounter the actual murderer, and then in self defense kills the murderer, and that's how we get the opening in the very first episode. Then we do see near the end of the episode what else was about to happen, but
Yeah, getting stalked. Yeah, absolutely. I like that. I like that. So they head to Sting's apartment, and that whole scene plays out just as awkwardly as you'd expect. And it wasn't all for naught. At least Sting thought of a new song out of it, so he's going to get a new song, even though
that
Oliver
song was terrible,
Oliver
man.
wasn't feeling it either. Oh, you and Oliver are just on track. You two are one. Like you feeling the same vibes. Like he's like that is not going to make your best of album. The meeting has also revealed that Tim's death wasn't Sting's fault, like he thought it was. It was a suicide, or Sting thought it was a suicide. So he was actually relieved to find out that he got murdered, which kind of shows the other guy, host, that he was not the murderer, probably. Unless he is, and he's just a hell of an actor. No, what do we think about that?
Nah, I'm a musician. Like even them watching this, and I'm like, this thing supposed to be a good of an actor or what? I don't know. Unless he's supposed to be like this, huh?
Oh man. Well, the failed meeting with Sting wasn't a total bust for Charles either. It gave him the courage to go back and talk to Jen and ask for a second date, and she agreed. And while back at her place, Mabel puts a few clues together and has a revelation about all that jewelry that Tim had stashed at his place. And she's starting to put a few clues together. Meanwhile, asking for that second date seemed to take like everything out of Charles. Like he's ready to come up and just sleep for a month. And while laying on Oliver's couch, Will comes by and reveals that Mabel used to visit the Arconia when she was younger and that she was friends with Tim Kono. It's like, uh-oh, it's all unraveling now. Like, how are these two going to act like next time they see her? What's going to happen with that?
That is a very good question because they really can't trust them. Trust her. Hell, they can't trust her. She doesn't trust Charles. He only can trust Oliver.
Nobody's going to trust anybody after this. And it's funny how they always do that too. Like they made a point of saying that, like, oh, no lies anymore. We're all going to trust each other. And the second she walked out of that room, Oliver turned to Charles and was like, I don't trust her. So they just made it clear that there is no trust in between them. So yeah, that's going to be classic. But yeah, I don't know. This, of course, blows them away, and now they want to know like why she never told them. And is it because that she is indeed the murderer, and that's why they found her kneeling over that dead body in that first episode?
But think about it though. Seeing how she's that close, she's practically the number one suspect. If
Yeah,
they knew. So
absolutely.
it's like, damn if I do, damn if I don't.
Yeah, tough to tell people that you just met that. Yeah, that's crazy. And then May, excuse me. And then Mabel leaves the building, and while walking, we see that she's being followed by none other than tie dye shirt guy. And you better
Hmm.
watch yourself, Mabel. Let's not get got.
Same tie-dye guy that Charles saw before he left the building that day.
Exactly. He keeps reminding everybody we cannot forget about tie dye guy. So this guy's definitely important about something. They keep pointing that out. And then we get an outdo from Cinda Canning, an outro from Cinda Canning, which kind of made it sound like she's going to try to frame it as Charles is the killer in this whole thing. Like I said, we were talking earlier. You just knew from that meeting that she was going to try to steal the story from them.
Hmm.
But putting a spin on it that Charles is the killer, that's going to create some problems
Yeah.
because she's got a whole lot more than 4 listeners to her podcast. She's got millions.
Or just to give Charles more popularity, possibly. I don't know.
Oh,
Because
maybe
remember, he's
she's
just a dead. Since he's a dead celebrity, like this alone will just like boost it up.
There you go. She's trying to help out because she was so pumped that they were such huge fanboys. Like she's gonna try to do something nice. I like that.
Hmm.
I like the way that works out. Oh, this just looks like the next episode. There will be a lot of splaining to do.
Indeed, and it pissed me off. I had to wait like a freaking week for a damn follow up.
Oh, nothing easy, but at least you're doing 2 at a time, not just one.
I want to do a one. That's like when I watched Wednesday that it came out on Netflix recently. I was able to binge it all in one day. I do it
Oh,
as like week after week after week madness.
oh, I'll tell you, nothing easy. Maybe once we get towards the end, try to bump it up.
And this is a mystery too. Just like Wednesday was a mystery. I'm like, okay, I can like guess clues, see who it is, and guess it. I was able to guess it literally within the 3rd or 4th episode
Oh,
or
really?
so. And I guessed at least 2 suspects until finally it was like that. What was it? Episode 7, where I'm like, okay, so the main character thing is this person. They're possibly wrong, and it's my other guess. And it turned out to be my other guess.
Oh,
But this one here is too tricky. Like I can't see who it is. And it's supposed to be what, 8 or 10 episodes or something.
I believe there's 10.
And I still can't see who it is at this moment.
We're almost at that halfway point. Oh, that's fantastic. Maybe have we even met the murderer yet? I mean,
I
they
don't
could just
think
be
we have.
bullshit.
If it's
Yeah.
a tie guy person, then no signs. And they did bring up what's his face in this episode. Oh gosh, I wrote his name down. Did I not? Her friend. Oliver's son. I believe he's out already or something.
Oliver's son?
Not Oliver's son.
Oh, the Rodriguez kid or whatever?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
His son is out or something, I believe, at this point.
She said he's getting out soon. I don't know, and she was asking if he was out, so we don't know if he's out yet or not. But I mean, I kind of get the feeling that he is with all this that's going on.
So he's again another potential person, even though he didn't do the murder. But who knows at this point? Like he could have gotten out even earlier than expected.
I mean, he went away for murder, so maybe he came back and did do murder for some reason or another.
I mean, according to how the father looks at it, he was framed.
Yeah.
Jose Torres, there we go.
Oh, feel it. Yep.
Or Oscar. Oscar's father. Yeah, so it's Oscar. There we go.
Oscar was
could have, yeah. So he could have been framed from the way how the father was talking about it, and that it ruined his whole son's life because of it.
Yeah, I was almost taking it like, I mean, whether he did it or not, he just wants his son to have a fresh start.
Yeah, and he despises Maple.
Yeah, we don't want any blast from the past. And this girl has a bad reputation. Like we saw what Oliver's son Will was said about her. She's like, that girl's bad news.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. She might not be that nice. I mean, I don't know. Things like that kind of point to maybe she really was the murderer, and we just don't suspect it because she's one of our main characters.
Nah, I don't think she killed him.
Wasn't her. Not getting that murder feeling vibe from her, murdery vibe from her.
That or I just have a crush on Selena Gomez too. I don't know.
Oh, that could be. Oh, well, the good news is that next week, or right after this, you can go and you can watch 2 more episodes and get it in and get even more clues and see what's going on with this crazy little show.
It's probably gonna be tonight. Watch the next 2 episodes, then message you like, DJ, I think I know who it is.
Oh, just get it in. Who knows? Maybe I'll write out 2 more things and try to get on and jump on like maybe Wednesday or Thursday and knock out 2 more episodes. Feel it. See how your schedule is or whatever. I'll have them written down and we'll be ready to go. We'll let AK know. Make sure she watches the next 2 episodes. Oh man! So yeah, we're about we're 4 episodes in, almost to the halfway point, and still got us guessing. Have no real idea, like no real leads, like who the actual murderer is. Do we?
Nah, not at all. At this point, it can't be her though, because seems like every time they have like a suspect, it doesn't turn out to be that person. So now I'm keen. It's probably not Selena at this point.
Well, maybe we'll find out in the next episode. Oh, only got 3 trivia questions for this one, just short and sweet. Gonna knock them out if you know these. Write them in the comment section down below when you are watching. What is Oliver's dog's name?
Let's see. No clue.
If you can remember that one, write it down below. What is Oliver's dog's name? What songs were Charles and Jan playing back and forth to each other?
Okay, let's see. I think I got like 1 or 2 down here. I knew he was gonna have this down.
To each other.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Absolutely.
That was one of them.
Yes,
and take me out to the ball game.
He played that. She didn't play that one. There were 2 that they played back and forth to each other.
That's the only ones I remember that I've written down here.
If you're happy and you know it, and there was one other one. If you guys know
that other one, I was trying to like fathom what that song was.
Yeah, it's a little before your time. You might not actually know that one. It's an old one, but it has a lot to do with the theme of what they were talking about, what they kept calling her, or the word they kept using to describe her. So a little hint for everybody. If you know that one, write it down below. And last but not least, and this is a deep dive, what episode of Bravos did the line that Cindy used come from?
What?
At the very end, she said, when she said that line, she said that's from an episode of Brazos from like this episode.
No idea. You gotta think about it. You're gonna have like, oh, what year did she get her Peabody? But no, we're gonna go with the episode of Bravo.
Episode number. She spelled it out. It's such a random fact that she just put in there. Like, I don't know, that just stood out to me.
And it's crazy how there's like what her Sydney, and then there's like 2 other Sydneys working with her. I'm like,
yeah, she's a Cinda, and then there's a Cindy, and then the Cindy. Yeah,
I'm like, what the hell? Reminds me at my job, but it's like there's like 2 other Davids, and I'm like, at this point, it's like, are you talking to me? Or are you talking to the other Davids here?
And do they cut their hair like you and wear their clothes like you, trying to be just like you? I wonder if like she makes them do that, or if that's just them being fangirls themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. That is weird. Oh man. Oh, bonus question. How long ago did they say Bravos was done? How long ago did Cinda say the episode of Brazos was? How many years back? In this episode of Brazos, blank years back.
Blank years ago. 17?
So spent no cigar. Oh man, there you go. A little bonus extra credit question for everybody. So yeah, like I said, maybe I'll write get these next 2 done, and if you have any time in the next 2 days, we'll just get after it and maybe knock another 2 out, so you don't have to wait quite so long for the next 2.
I mean, for me, it's only like close to 10 o'clock. I might just like watch the next 2 episodes right now.
You know, knock it out. Yep, maybe I'll write those tonight and get with you. Either do it tomorrow or Thursday and see what's up.
Thursday will be good.
All right, let's just plan on Thursday then. I'll just make sure I get them written up, and we'll do it on Thursday, and get a message to AK and keep this train moving down the tracks. So there you go, folks. We'll be back on Thursdays for episode 5 and 6. So hope you guys are enjoying the show. Only murders in the building as much as we are. And, man, let's see if we can crack this case before they actually give it all to us. So I hope everybody out there is having an absolutely fantastic week, and it only gets better from here. Until we see you Thursday. Be easy, everybody.